So good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, very good morning. Okay, so hope the screen is visible to everyone. Yes. So we started with the power in AC circuits. We started with the power in AC circuits. Since your voltage and current are alternating quantity, that is, which is going to vary with respect to time, the power will also be a varying quantity. So now in this power equation, that is, this is your power, and when you take the average power, when you calculate the average power, one of the term will become 0, and you will have the real power, that is VI cos theta. Okay, so then this power can be expressed using a complex one, that is VRMS, IRMS, and the phase difference between the voltage and current. Okay, so we have three terms as discussed in the last class: real power, reactive power, and apparent power. Okay, the units are, for real power as usual, watts, and for the reactive power, volt ampere reactive, and for the apparent power it is volt amperes. Okay, so we discussed this power triangle also for leading power factor and for lagging power factor, and then we solved one simple example and to understand reactive power analogy. Okay, so we'll take this analogy. Okay, so it's a very popular analogy people used to consider to understand this reactive power. Okay, so this is a glass of beer, okay, or glass of juice, whatever. Okay, so here if you consider the in a whole glass, if you consider a whole glass, okay, so only this much we have a fluid, we have a fluid only this much, and remaining are nothing but foam. Okay, so here we can relate, that is we pay, that is the electricity bill we pay for this total power, that is with respect to our load, let it be industrial one or household appliances. So we pay the electricity bill for both, for the total power, which includes both the reactive power and real power. So now if you see this tumbler, okay, so only this much fluid I am consuming, but I am paying for this whole glass. So this is nothing but a reactive power, which is a waste. Okay, okay, so similarly you can relate it with your power terminology. Okay, so in AC electrical power distribution, due to the inductive load, due to the inductive and capacitive load, that is going to be a reactive power. Okay, so when this reactive power increases, normally during the transmission lines you might have seen, no, small rod kind of thing, okay, from the supply to the right. So the transmission lines, the what to say, the conductor size, okay, is depending on the amount of power it is transmitting. So as your reactive power increases, so all these will going to be increased, larger conductors and larger transformers to handle all these larger currents, which we need to pay for. Okay, so this reactive power is not going to, it is just in power due to transfer between these between the supply and the load, right? So when you have the higher reactive power, then our electricity bill is going to increase. Actually speaking, we are not going to get benefit out of this reactive power, because real power is the one. For example, when you take an application, see, when you take an application like a heater or whatever, run a motor or heat a home, okay, so the active power or real power is the energy supplied to do all these tasks, to do all these useful functions. Okay, so whereas reactive power is mostly useful in your industrial applications, where we go for a three-phase circuits, where we go for a three-phase supply. Okay, so here, because of this high, you can ask me, ma'am, why this is not here in household appliances. Mostly our load are lower rating load, and most of the appliances internally they have this power factor correction unit, or there is a power factor compensator unit. Okay, so mainly most of the loads available are inductive in nature. Okay, so which is going to introduce some phase angle difference, which is going to increase the power factor, which is going to contribute for this power factor. Better the power factor, higher the power factor, better the power consumption, or lower the reactive power. When your power factor is low, okay, when your power factor is low, then the reactive power is going to be high, then we'll have all these problems. Unnecessarily we'll be paying for the unutilized thing. Okay, so to improve the power factor, we have the compensated circuit. Mostly the capacitor will be used for compensating the decrease in power factor. They'll go for a kind of circuit like this. Okay, so this is just to understand what is this reactive power. Okay, so now we'll continue with some of the examples related to this AC circuits. We'll have some networks, AC networks. Okay, so here, before I start with the different AC networks, okay, just before I start, we are not going to discuss any complex circuits which is going to involve theorems or current division, voltage division, all those things. We'll consider mostly we'll be discussing a circuit with single source and your passive components connected in series parallel combination. Let me repeat, and we are not going to have any complex network having more than one source. Okay, so we'll be considering a circuit with single source and your passive elements connected in series parallel combination. Okay, so now here this is a parallel network and this is a series network. Oh, I think I have it done. Okay, I think I have in the picture. Yeah, it's here. Okay, so I have my parallel network here. So okay, so as usual, we know that the total impedance offered by this network can be calculated. Like how we write an expression for the, so R is equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2 if it is a simple resistive network, whereas here it's a combination of resistance and reactance. Okay, so as usual, we can write like this, or we can write the total resistance 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Okay, so if I use that expression, then I have this. Okay, what is this Y? Anybody have an idea? What is this Y? Y is inverse of the impedance. Z is called impedance, which is going to combine both the resistance and reactance. Inverse of impedance is nothing but Y, which is called as admittance. which is called as admittance. Okay, so here 1 by R plus 1 by XP, and when you simplify this, take a complex conjugate, and simplify this. Okay, so you will be getting a simplified expression like this. So here R is a resistive component and X is a reactive component. Okay, so when I write it in terms of impedance for a parallel network, it's going to comprise the resistive component plus the J into the imaginary component. Now when you have this impedance consisting of R and X in series, so here as usual for series network, how do? We'll just sum the resistance and reactance. So here the impedances R plus Jx. Okay, now again when I try to write the admittance, which is going to be inverse of the impedance, so now here again when I take the complex conjugate, I'll have something like this. So now here this can also be, that is y can also be written as 1 by R plus J by X, right? Y, because y is nothing but inverse of Z. Okay, y is nothing but inverse of Z. So now this two more new terms, that is G and B. G probably you might have heard about. I do not know whether you have heard about this term G. G is nothing but conductance. G is nothing but conductance. Okay, so the conductance unit is mho. Okay, similarly B is nothing but susceptance. Okay, how your impedance is going to have resistance and reactance, right? Both the units are ohms. Similarly, the admittance will have 1 by R plus 1 by X, which is nothing but conductance and susceptance. The unit for both of them are mho, Siemens or mho. Okay, so now this way for series parallel combination, we can use all these different things. Okay, so now let us consider different networks. Okay, so here this is a given network. So the network has having series parallel combination. Now you are asked to calculate the total impedance, current supplied by the source, and voltage drop across the resistor, and voltage drop across the capacitor, and current flowing through the capacitor, power delivered. Okay, so and what is FP? Anybody? What is FP? What is FP? Power factor. Okay, power factor of the network. Okay, so as usual, we can solve it very easily. Okay, so then one more, when I do this, I remember like in your CAT 1, I have given the first question with mostly only one source. Okay, only one source I had given for the part 1 question, for the first question. Okay, so people have tried with the different methodologies. Mostly when I have a single source, better you reduce the network. Using series parallel combination. That's more than easy compared to any other methods. Instead of going for mesh analysis, nodal analysis, all those things, it is easy to reduce the network, that is try to find out the equivalent resistance for the total network. Okay, for the first question, based on that idea only I had given that question, but most of you have tried with the different methodologies. Okay, let me come back here. So here total impedance ZT is equal to, I have, let me consider this as Z1 and this as Z2. Okay, so my total impedances, both of them are connected in series, so this can be written as Z1 plus Z2. This can be written as Z1 plus Z2. So what is Z1? Can anyone tell me? What is, when you have a resistance, what is the equivalent impedance? It is just an R. When you have the simple inductance, impedance is nothing but J into XL. Okay, when you have a simple capacitor, the equivalent impedance is minus J into XC. Okay, so now that way if you do, Z1 is nothing but a simple resistor, so I'll have only R, that is 1 ohm, plus Z2 is nothing but parallel combination of inductor and capacitor. Z2 is nothing but parallel combination of XC and XL. So as usual, R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2 I can do, or I can do 1 by R1, that will be the total. So here in that case it will be 1 by Z2. In that case it will be 1 by Z2. So I can do this way. So JXL into minus JXC divided by JXL minus JXC. Okay, so now you can calculate for what is XL and what is XC. So how do we already they have given the value of XL and XC only. See, they have given in terms of ohms. So it's a reactance value. So they have given the reactance value directly. So here directly I could write, so this is 1 plus JXL is J2. Okay, sorry, JXC is 2. So JXL is 3. So J3 minus J2 divided by multiplied by J3 multiplied by minus J2 divided by J3 minus J2. Okay, so 1 plus J3 multiplied by J2 is J square becomes minus 1, no? So minus 1 into minus will become plus. So 6 divided by my J1. Okay, so I could write it as 1 minus J6. Okay, this J, when I bring it to the numerator, plus J becomes minus J. So 1 minus J6. So my impedance, total impedance is 1 minus J6. This is in polar form. So now you can convert this into rectangular form. So how do I do that? The magnitude is square root of A square plus B square, that is 1 plus 36, square root of 37. Okay, and then here face angle is tan inverse of B by A. So tan inverse of minus 6 by 1, which is tan inverse of minus 6. Okay, so now I got the magnitude value and the phase difference value. Now directly I could say that this phase difference is nothing but the phase difference between the voltage and current. Okay, now this is nothing but the theta, which is the phase angle difference between the voltage and current. So now I calculate the total impedance, and then IS can be from the magnitude. I know the voltage, it is 120 divided by the impedance square root of 37. Okay, then calculate VR and VC. So now the total voltage is divided between VR and VC, right? So after calculating after calculating I, VR is going to be I multiplied by R, because this is a series network, same current is going to flow. Can then for VC, I multiplied by Z2. Okay, what is Z2? Z2 is nothing but the parallel combination of XL and XC, which is nothing but minus J6, Okay, so now when I write it in rectangular form, it is going to be just a 6. So I into Z2 I can do. So now I have got the values of VR and VC. Okay, so now since this is a parallel combination, so same voltage is going to be available across XC and XL also. So now I got what is VC. So IC can be just VC divided by XC. Okay, and then power delivered. Can anyone tell me what is the power delivered? VI cos theta. Real power. Okay, so the real power is VI cos theta. So we know that what is V, and we calculated what is I. Okay, so here you remember it is VRMS IRMS cos theta. So mostly when they specify here like this, it is an RMS quantity. Okay, so they didn't specify whether it is an RMS or a, if they given with the equation, that is E is equal to 120 sine omega t. Then what is the expression? V E is equal to Vm sine omega t. So this is a maximum value, but this is a maximum value. So here they didn't specify anything. Okay, so when it is not specified, you can take it as either maximum value or a what is that? Or a RMS value. Okay, so here please remember it is VRMS IRMS cos theta. So VRMS is Vm by root 2, IRMS is Im by root 2. So if this is Vm, then definitely the current what we have calculated is also a maximum value. So now Vi by 2 into cos theta. Just substitute everything, you can calculate the power. Okay, this is a power delivered to the load. Normally that power delivered means useful power, average power or real power, that is nothing but the power delivered to the load. Okay, so now the apparent power and the reactive power are just the power terminologies. Okay, if they ask explicitly, then we can calculate it. So now when they ask compute the power delivered to the load, then that's nothing but the real power. Okay, so similarly, there is a one more network given here. I hope you can solve it by yourself. You can do it, no? So here the same way. So it's a parallel network. Here it is a same way. So it's a parallel network. So you can consider this as Z1 and this as Z2. Okay, and then you can solve it as usual how we did for the previous one. Okay. So here the question is, you can ask me, ma'am, what is that I'm supposed to calculate? You have to calculate this blue color ones. What is the total current and what is VAB? What is VAB? VA minus VB. What is VA? VA is nothing but voltage across the inductor. And what is VB? Voltage across the capacitor. Okay, so you can calculate this. So determine the power factor of the entire circuit. Determine the power factor of the entire circuit as seen by the source. Calculate the average power delivered by the source. Okay, so here you are asked to calculate the power factor and the average power. Okay, so we all know that power factor is a cos theta. We know that power factor is cos theta. Theta is nothing but the voltage, that is phase angle difference between the voltage and current. Okay, so obviously for a given network, I need to calculate the current. I need to calculate the current because the current is not given. So here, see, they have specified RMS. They have specified RMS. If they don't specify anything, if it is an equation form, obviously that's a Vm sin omega t maximum value. But when they specify the voltage source like this, if they don't specify explicitly like RMS, then we will assume it as maximum value. Let me repeat, for power calculation, we need Vrms, Irms. So the source, if they specify with the polar form like this, then if they specify RMS, we will take it as RMS. If they don't specify, then we will assume it as a maximum value. We will assume it as a maximum value. Okay. So here, power factor is cos theta and current can be just, you reduce this. You reduce this network. Okay, how do we reduce this network? Just for this parallel combination, you can take it as 4 into minus J2 divided by 4 minus J2. Okay, plus 6. Plus 6. Now you reduce this. Go for complex number solving. Okay, so easily I can write 6 into minus J8 divided by 4 minus J2. Okay, so here I can convert this into a polar form because multiplication and division, sorry, it's not multiply, no, it's plus. Multiplication and division is easy when you do it in the polar form. I hope you all can do this. You all can do it, right? So now this will be 8 angle minus B by A. A is 0, so tan inverse of infinitive. Tan inverse of infinitive is, what is tan inverse of infinitive? Anybody? 90 degree or 0 degree? Tan inverse of infinitive.
90 degree.
90 degree. So the angle is 90 degree. Okay. Divided by denominator for 16 plus 4, 20. So square root of 20. Angle is tan inverse of minus 2 by 4. Minus 1 by 2. Tan inverse of minus 1 by 2. Then I can simplify this. After I simplify, since I have to add, I need to convert this again to a rectangular form. 6 plus A plus JB form. Then I can add it. Okay, so that will be my current. Okay, so better you have your current in polar form as well as rectangular form. Okay, so now here from this current I can calculate. This current is obviously IRMS because the given voltage is RMS. So definitely the current what we calculate is also going to be RMS. So Vrms, IRMS cos theta, and then from this angle, after we calculate, we get an angle for the current, no? So the angle difference between the voltage and current is going to be theta. So cos theta will give you the power factor. Okay, average power is Vrms, IRMS cos theta. That way we can easily solve this network. Okay. I have another one interesting question here. Okay, so the voltage across the load is given and current through the element in the direction of voltage drop is also given. Find the complex and apparent power, the real and reactive power, power factor, and the load impedance. Can you calculate and let me know? The voltage is given, the network is not given. So instead of that, what they've given is the total applied voltage and the total current is given. Total voltage and the total current is given, and you're asked to calculate all these values. Anybody? How do I proceed? How do I proceed? So here P of t is given, I of t is given. So better from V of t and I of t, you write the complex number. Okay, so here it is, both of them are in cos. So let me retain in cos itself. So 60 angle minus 10 degree. Okay, and then for I of t, 1.5 angle 50 degree. 1.5 angle 50 degree. Okay, so now you're asked to calculate this complex power and apparent power. Okay, so now the power is as discussed already. The power is Vrms Irms theta v minus theta I. Okay, theta v minus theta I. Okay, so this is a Vm, this is a maximum value. Okay, these two are maximum values. So 60 multiplied by 1.5 divided by 2. And what is the angle? Theta v minus theta I. Voltage current is minus 10. So it's minus 60 degree. So this gives us the complex power. Complex power we used to represent with the letter S. So this is my complex power. Okay. So from this, the apparent power is each phase we are going to get the output voltage. From each phase we are going to get the output voltage. So let us consider this is VAN from the first phase. Let us assume A phase, B phase and C phase. Okay, so from each of the phase we are going to get the output voltage. Okay, let us assume this is the voltage I am getting it. So now the phasor difference between these two will be 120 degree. Between these two phases it is 120 degree, and these two phases, in the figure itself they try to represent this phasor difference is 120 degree. Okay, so this is nothing but the idea behind how they generate this. So how physically also, if you look at the construction of the machine, they'll arrange the coils in that way. Okay, so that this will be generating 3 different voltages. Okay, each same magnitude, but there will be a phase difference between those 3 voltages. Okay, so now as I said already, the voltage sources, the voltage typical, that is generally for a 3-phase system, 3 voltage sources will be there that is connected to a load. Okay, using either a 3-wire system or a 4-wire system. That is 3-phase voltages can be connected to a load either using a 3-wire or 4 wires. Okay, so when it is a 3-wire, it's nothing but it's arranged in the delta. So this is called delta connection. This is called delta connection. My supply is 3-phase 3 voltages, they are arranged in the delta form. So only 3 wires are there. This is phase A and this is phase B and this is C. Okay, same way those 3 coils or those 3 voltage generated, they are arranged in the star form. Okay, so this is star form. Okay, so here from each phase I have a wire, and then from this common ground, this is called as neutral. This is called as neutral. So from this we have a 4th wire. So this is called 4-wire 3-phase system. So 3-phase system, that is the supply voltages connected to a load, can be arranged either in this form, that is a delta connection, or in a star connection. So delta connection, there is a 3-wire, whereas in star connection we have a 4 wires. We have 4 wires. Okay, so now here this is when I measure the voltage here. For example, when I consider the star connection or a 4-wire system, so I can have the voltage between each phase with respect to this neutral terminal. Okay, also I can measure the voltage, I can take the voltage between the 2 phases, between phase A and phase B, or phase B and phase C. Okay, so now here we have 2 voltages. Now we call them, we differentiate them with 2 terminologies. One is called line voltage, the other one is called phasor voltage. Okay, one is called line voltage, the other one is called phasor voltage. Whereas here when you see, there is for a 3-phase, that is 3-phase 3-wire system, that is delta connection. When you consider this 3-phase 3-wire system, we don't have such kind of neutral. So here this is between the 2 phases only I'll be measuring, between any 2 phases only I will be taking output as a supply point of view, or will be connecting a load between these 2 lines only, these 2 terminals only. So here there is no line voltage or phase voltage. So here both line voltage and phase voltage are same. Both the line voltage and phase voltage are same. Okay, but still if you consider here, since it's a neutral, there is no current, neutral terminal or ground terminal, so always there is no current. Okay, so current will be always measured in this lines. Current supplied by the source will be only through these 3 lines. Okay, so in this neutral there is no current. Okay, so now here this only one, so current is going to be supplied by phase A, phase B and phase C. Okay, so as far as this 4-wire system is concerned, we have only one current going to be supplied from A, B or C. So they are called as line current. Okay, whereas here when you consider here, so you can have the current from A. Okay, so also you can have the current difference between these 2. Okay, so now if I connect a load here, okay, so between this I have a line here, so I have this current also. Okay, so now I have 2 current components. One is called line current, the other one is called phase current. So as far as the 4-wire connection is concerned, we have two different voltages. One is a line voltage, which is measured between the phase and the neutral terminal. Other one is the voltage measured between voltage supplied generated between the two phasors. Okay, whereas current will be same, because in neutral terminal we don't have any current. It's a ground terminal or reference terminal. Okay, so we'll have only one current taken from three phase points. Okay, so there is no difference between these two currents. So the line current and the phasor current is going to be same. Whereas when you consider this 3-wire system, 3-phase 3-wire system, so here always we don't have neutral point or anything, no. So the voltage, as far as the voltage is concerned, it's going to be always measured between or taken between the two phase terminals. So only the phasor and line voltage are same. Whereas the current, when you take, whether the current is from a single phase or it's going to be a difference between IA or IAB. Okay, so that way for current it's going to be line current, whether the current is from this line or it's a phasor current, IA minus IAB, that is IA minus IB. So that way. So here in 3-phase system we have 3-wire connection and 4-wire connection. 3-phase 3-wire system or 3-phase 4-wire system. So here voltage and current will be there, but here we have two more. Voltage and current will be called with two more important things. One is a line voltage, the other one is a phase voltage. Similarly, current can also be line current and phasor current. Okay, so with this introduction I stop. Let us continue with the relationship between the line voltage, phasor voltage, line current and phasor current for all these 3-phase systems for different sequences. We'll continue in the next class. Okay, so mainly the purpose of this 3-phase system is to improve the, when I want to connect the high rating load, when my load needs high power, then we need to go for the higher rating supply voltage. Okay, so when you have a DC we don't have any limitation, right? We say 10 volt source, or we have 20 volt source, or we have 230 volt source. Okay, similarly for AC, single phase means there is a standard output voltage of 230 volt. Now when the current supplied by the single phase source is not sufficient for a load, okay, then we may have to go for a 3-phase system. We may have to go for a 3-phase system. In 3-phase system, we have all these advantages. Okay, so compared to single phase systems, the 3-phase systems are economical and they have some advantages also. Torque is uniform and your power is constant, there is no fluctuation, and frequency of vibration is also good. Okay, so generally the 3-phase system is generally used. Okay, generally this 3-phase system is adapted. Okay, so now it's not necessary that 3-phase system should be connected only to a 3-phase load. Even a single phase load can be connected to a 3-phase load. Okay, so let us continue with the voltage and current relationships. That is, what's the relationship between line voltage and line current, line voltage and phasor voltage, line current and phasor current. All these relationships. Let us continue in the next class. Okay, so any doubt in this?
Ma'am, can you upload the PPTs?
For single phase circuits, I will upload. In the 3-phase, after I complete, I upload. Okay. 1 minute, don't leave. I'll just note down your attendance, then you can leave. Okay. So you can leave. There is no doubt. Maybe you can.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Bye. Okay. Yes.
Ma'am, can you upload the PPT for that lab experiment, ma'am? Sinusoidal steady state experiment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. That PPT I said I will upload no circuits. I will do that. I will do that. I forgot to. I will do that.
And ma'am, please, can you upload the PPTs for the previous topics before this?
Yeah. This module, right? Yeah. I will.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Bye.